to another edition of Chargers Unleashed. Jake Hefner and Dan Wolkenstein here with you from the LA Football Network. Today's show, of course, is being brought to you by BetOnline, Aura, AG1, Mint Mobile, and Rock Solid Sports Memorabilia. If this is your first time tuning in the show, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Dan Wolkenstein, we said it earlier this week. Everybody took a deep breath. Everybody got out their feelings as they needed to. It's now on to Tennessee. We had the Chargers fan base in general had their week one feelings aired out. But there are 16 games remaining in the 2023 NFL season. Let's not forget that. Still a long season left to go. And as we gear up for the Chargers traveling to the Tennessee Titans this upcoming week, holy hell, do we have a special guest for you. Dan Wolkenstein, once again, working his beautiful creative magic. And as he always does, I will allow him to explain to every one of you who the special guest of today is.
Yes, sir, Ski. We've got the one and only Slayer himself. Keenan Allen is joining Chargers Unleashed. We're going to be talking about the upcoming week two matchup versus the Tennessee Titans. We'll be talking about kind of the week that was, what this offense is looking like under OC Kellen Moore, kind of state of the team currently, kind of mindset as they turn the page to week 2 versus Tennessee. Bold fam, let's ride with Keenan Allen when we come back from Chargers Unleashed. Quick commercial break. We'll hear about it from our friends over at Aura, and then we'll have Keenan Allen joining us next.
Have you ever Googled yourself and were shocked to see your personal information exposed on one of those public listing sites? Data brokers are making a fortune selling your information to robocallers, spammers, and others who want to learn more about you, like where you live.
We've been trying to reach you concerning your car's extended warranty.
That's why I'm excited to tell you about today's sponsor, Aura. Aura can identify data brokers exposing your info and submit opt-out requests on your behalf, and brokers everywhere are legally required to remove your info if you ask them to, but they make it super hard to do. So let Aura handle that for you. You could try Aura for up to 2 weeks using this link that we're going to put up here on the screen. Aura also does so much more to protect you and your family from online threats that you cannot see. So make sure to check out aura.com/Chargers Unleashed to get a 14-day free trial and see if your personal information has been leaked online.
Well, we have a huge week 2 matchup versus Tennessee, an opportunity for this Chargers team to respond as a team, lessons learned from last week versus Miami. Who better to have to talk to about this Chargers team than the Slayer himself? Yes, Sirski, you know who we're talking about. Mr. Keenan Allen is joining Chargers Unleashed. Keenan Allen, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, man.
Good. Excited to see you out there, balling out. We saw you week 1. Lots of things kind of want to talk about some of the things before, as well as kind of the ramifications of what this season could possibly bring to this franchise. But let's kind of start with the new look offense, so to speak. We've got a glimpse of that under offensive coordinator Kellen Moore last week. Clearly, the run game looked great. Passing game was effective for most of the game. Not as many deep shots as I think some fans would have liked to see or that we saw during camp, which, again, going up against the Vic Fangio defense, understood. You scored 34 points, but unfortunately ended up on the losing side after that last drive went sideways. What were your biggest takeaways from the team's offensive performance last week?
As far as offense, I think we did a good job of taking what they was going to give us. They was in a lot of two-shell the whole game. So running the ball was definitely the answer, and that's what we did. So, the run game came alive, and, we didn't have to go deep. So
do you take, like, that last drive? Like, do you, given how the game went, like, do you take that last drive personal, like, regardless of what went on during the game? Like, we got the ball, 2 timeouts, minute 50, down 2, like, let's rock. Like, was there any thought that it wasn't going to succeed?
No, not from an offensive standpoint. We thought, we had a good shot at it. We only needed 3. So, we do that every day. That's just part of what we do. We go down and, make a drive to win the practice. And, it just didn't happen for us in the game.
And Keenan, everybody loves Overreaction Monday. I think everybody forgets that there are 16 games left in this season. And it's easy to get wrapped up in individual game outcomes, and especially just for you personally. I'm interested just to know whether it's you or just collectively as the team, when you guys got back there, in that locker room after the Miami game. What's kind of the process just from a mindset standpoint of going from that point last Sunday to where you are today and getting prepped for Tennessee in terms of the work that has to be done to get back on the right track?
Yeah, well, obviously you're pissed off. You lost the game. So, I mean, everybody in the locker room feels pretty much the same. You know, nobody wants to lose in any circumstance. So everybody's feeling that way. And then, you know, once we come up and break down as a team, you know, we're already on to the next week. You're going to think about it. You're going to think about that game probably for the rest of the night, going to Monday, Tuesday. And then once Wednesday come, you know, it's all Tennessee Titans. You know, that game's over. Nothing you can do about it. The win, the loss, it really doesn't matter. You got 16 more, so you got to make the best of these 16.
There was so much excitement around this team, and there still is, you know, from this offseason even till now. You know, along with that come expectations and pressure given how the last few seasons have gone with the talent on this roster. Like, it's incredible. It feels like this season, and I could be wrong, but it feels like this season will be a turning point for the franchise, like one way or another, either positive or negative. I personally labeled it as like a redemption season for a ton of guys on this team, both in the office as well as on the field. As kind of the longest tenured Chargers player, like, how do you personally view this season for both yourself and the franchise?
I don't know if I even look at it like that. I mean, it's another season for me. I'm on year 11. All the seasons feel the same. I always feel like we're going to win the Super Bowl every season. So, you know, coming out of training camp, I always feel like we got the best team. And then, you know, even when we're, 6-2, you feel like we got the best team. When we're 2-6, you feel like we're still going to make a run. At some point, we're going to make a run and we're going to be in the playoffs and we're going to have a chance. So every season kind of feels the same. You know, obviously you have, you know, better teams or whatnot, I guess, so to speak, more talent than others. And you just got to go out and put it together, though. If you don't put it together, then the talent doesn't really matter. Like, every team has talent.
Would you say, of the 3 years that Staley's been here, would you say that this is the best team that you guys have had in those 3 years specifically?
With Staley, possibly. Yeah. Because I feel like we've always had, like, I don't feel like we've always had kind of the same guys, but you add a couple guys here and there. Like this year, we just got draft picks. We didn't really add Eric Kendricks. We got Eric Kendricks. You know, still got the same team, but we got Eric Kendricks. So.
Same team experience and offensive coordinator.
Yes. Yeah, same team, you know, offensive coordinator.
Speaking of your head coach, Brandon Staley, you know, he in the defense this week is just taking a lot of heat just in terms of even going back to the wild card game of last year. And Derwin James was asked this week just in terms of how the secondary is going to respond. And he basically just said, wait till Sunday. I wanted to get your take, and you kind of alluded to it a second ago, just in terms of your feelings after in the locker room and those few days after, you know, how frustrated you guys are. But in terms of you being on the other side, you being one of the leaders of this team, how does this team go about responding, whether that's after this game or just traditionally in the past? How do you guys go about responding in those type of situations?
I honestly don't think you have a chance. I mean, you have a choice. The games are going to be played. So, I mean, you can mope and you can, you know, barbecue or mildew is really what you say. You can barbecue, you're going to mildew. Like, you're going to let one game determine the rest of your season, or you're going to go out and play against these guys and shut those guys down. And, you know, last week was a tough task. You got Tyreek Hill, man. This guy, first game of the season, you got Tyreek Hill. He's running at his top speed. You know, he's not banged up. He's not tired. He's not nothing. So that's a tough ask, bro. And he's like probably the best receiver in the league right now.
Now, you mentioned Tyreek Hill. You had a front row seat to that Dolphins game last week. As an offensive player, kind of looking forward to the game against Tennessee and the rest of the season, like, what do you take away from what they were able to accomplish on offense going up against your defense? Like, was there anything specific that you guys saw or that you saw personally that maybe, you know, you as a team got to utilize? You know, we saw a lot of motion from Tyreek. He wasn't able to get pressed much. Like, do you see anything there that maybe you can take away from that game and use yourself?
Absolutely. Obviously, the motions that he was able to do, move himself around, moving him around, they weren't really able to, like, hone in on him. You know, it's hard to bring a double team when you motion a guy, you know, in speed, and then they got to communicate on the fly. That's hard for a defense to do. And then this guy's like a 4.2 speed, so that's like super hard to communicate against. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll try to take some things away from that. And you know, it's a piggyback league, so whatever works against this defense will work, the next time we play a defense just like that.
I don't know if this is too much to ask, but I feel like I have to ask you. Like, what is it like as an offensive player seeing your team's defense like get carved up like that? At least in that game, like it's hard. Like you said, going up against Tyreek Hill. Like, how do you personally, or how does the offense look at that? Like, is it like, all right, well, we got to pony up. Let's go score more points than they do. Like, do you think, oh man, like, could you not just get one stop? Like, what's that kind of dichotomy like?
I think it's a little bit of both. When you're in a shootout like that, obviously you're like, all right, here we go. They can't stop us either. They couldn't stop us. We couldn't stop them. So at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure both offenses felt the same way. It was like when we played them last year, it felt like their defense did the same thing as they did last year, and our defense probably did the same thing as theirs. And then both of the offenses just made corrections, and obviously you couldn't stop neither one of them. So when you get into it like that, yeah, I'm pretty sure both offenses going on the field like, okay, they scored, so what? We're gonna go score too. So that's how that is. And then when you do get into a game where the offense is not really going that well either, and the defense isn't getting stops, then it's like, oh shit, we can't. And then you start looking, God damn.
Well, going into this weekend's matchup against the Titans, obviously very different matchup than what you guys just went up against the Titans. And Kellen Moore obviously alluded to it in his post-practice press conference today, just talking about changing the game plan from a week-to-week standpoint based off the matchups. We know what Tennessee's got on that defensive line. Jeffrey Simmons, Arden Key, some really good defensive players along that line. What are you expecting this game to be like, and what do you think that the keys to this offense are to get a W here?
Yeah, I definitely think it'll be different this week because this defense is so their focus point is stopping the run. Their best guys is up front, and we're gonna have to find a way to block those guys. And I'm pretty sure the run game won't be as good as it was last week. 200 yards is definitely hard to come by in the rushing game. So that's what they practice every day. They see Derrick Henry and they get duo every day. So, it's going to be tough to run that against them. So the passing game is definitely going to have to come alive.
We're wrapping up with Keenan Allen, your Los Angeles Chargers Slayer, number 13. I think you said you're 11 in the league, which is crazy. I still remember your rookie season. You're one of the leaders on this team. You're on the council. Set the stage for this Chargers fan base who are kind of looking for the rest of the season, like preview what we should expect. What's the leadership team kind of giving this team? What should Chargers fans expect as we kind of get towards week 2 and then the rest of the season?
For us to get better every week. We've already talked about it. It wasn't good enough on both sides of the ball. We got to finish the game offensively, and defense, you gotta slow those guys down and give us a chance to let that 34 points kind of show up and express itself. So we're just gonna be better on both sides of the ball, and try to keep it exciting.
Keenan Allen joins Chargers Unleashed. Keenan, thank you so much for joining us, man. This has been a pleasure and honor. Honestly, just person to person, man to man. So grateful to have you on the show. Best of luck this season, the rest of the season, and this week coming up against Tennessee. Can't wait. Keenan Allen, thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon. All right, man.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, see you.
Thank you.